This is Christine Brown, and while I have to listen to this podcast as my motherly duty, you have the choice not to. My sons sometimes say some naughty things when they're trying to be funny, but really, they're just being stupid. If you still want to listen, go right ahead. I am not your mother.
Welcome back to the Patriots Dynasty podcast. I'm your host, Andy Brown. This is the podcast where we are going back and rewatching every single game. Yes, every single game of the Patriots Dynasty. We started in 2001, and this week we are wrapping up the 2004 regular season, week 17, as the woeful, at the time, 49ers come to town. With me, as always, are my brothers. Middle brother, Steve. How are you, Steven?
I'm hanging in there. I like that you're throwing it back in, doing the recording in your car again, Andy.
I am, yes. I have been relegated to the vehicle.
Relegated or exiled?
I mean, they're synonyms. Now that I have a tiny human bogarting the other recording space that I was using, which was my bedroom. An hour.
Bogarting?
Say. Yeah.
What's bogarting mean?
Hoarding, basically.
It's after Humphrey Bogart.
Yeah. I don't know why. But.
I don't even know who Humphrey Bogart is. I'm making.
No, I just know the term bogarting. It means hogging. Basically.
It means selfishly appropriate or keep.
Yeah.
Something, especially a lit marijuana cigarette.
Oh.
Yeah, it is big in the in that world, from what I've heard.
Says Andy.
No, I mean, I know
you
a lot
Greg
of
haven't heard
potheads.
of it. Yeah, here just say.
Yeah.
How do you guys not know that? And I do.
It's.
Speaking of potheads, also with us is Greg Brown, as you may have heard. Greg, how are you?
I'm good. I'm just learning about Humphrey Bogart here.
Apparently.
Is it really named after him? Because I'm just assuming that.
Yeah, they both come up when you Google, but that makes sense.
Yeah. I mean,
Nickname Bogey. Name one Bogart movie.
Oh, he's an actor. I literally don't even know who he is.
Gone with the Wind.
No, close.
Really?
Dancing with the Wolves.
Casablanca.
Oh, I was right there.
Yeah.
Shot in the Dark. We don't watch movies growing up.
I don't think that's the kind of movie we would have wanted to watch anyways, Andy.
Probably.
It was 1942.
Back then, we would watch anything. I remember sitting and watching Pride and Prejudice on VHS with Mom because it was a television and the TV was on, so I was going to watch
Andy's
it.
Andy's blaming Mom for us missing out on Casablanca in 1942.
That's right.
Hey, Jesus.
I mean, let's be honest. That's the type of movie that Dad would rent from Kelly Library on VHS and bring home. Black and white movies.
No way.
No. What were they?
He watches those bullshit like English comedy things like Red Dwarf,
Blackadder. Yeah.
Yeah, where you're like, this is not funny at all. Yeah, but it's mildly amusing and it's better than fucking nothing.
Better than Play with My Brothers, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Tell me about it. Brothers are the worst. Speaking of the worst,
99% on Rotten Tomatoes. Casablanca.
Sure. Speaking of the worst, this 49ers team, worst in the NFL. They would end up with the number 1 draft pick in the following year.
Speaking of the worst, this game is the worst. Can we just get that out of the way?
Did you?
Yeah, it's not particularly watchable.
Dude, I watched the highlights and I almost didn't make it through that.
The highlights are only 1 minute and 21 seconds long.
Yeah, there's not many. There are not many highlights in this.
This is one of those games that you don't even watch in real time. Never mind 20 years later. Like,
yeah, this is the 13-2 Patriots hosting the 2-13 49ers. There's not much intrigue in this.
Andy, did you watch the whole thing?
I did. There's nothing to play for in this game.
You watched the whole game.
The whole game.
You are
a baby. What are you doing with your life?
You're a sicko, dude. This might be the most outrageous thing you've done. This is worse than the solo podcast.
And for all of us, for posterity's sake, the Celtics are in the middle of their playoff.
Yeah.
They're literally playing in the finals right now.
And Andy's watching a week 17 meaningless game.
Actually, that's a good question, Andy. Have you watched any of the Celtics series? Yeah, got it.
For a couple of reasons. One, I don't watch basketball.
Why not?
It doesn't interest me.
Don't like black people?
No, just not enough violence. Although from what I've seen on...
Did you just say the violence?
Yeah. There's not enough hitting.
Oh, not enough violence.
Yeah, okay. Not enough violence.
I
Let me tell
subscribe
you
to
about a
that.
guy named Draymond Green.
Well, that's what I was going to say. I've been on Twitter, obviously, for our Twitter account. And from the highlights I've seen of Draymond, he seems to be bringing the football back into basketball. So maybe I'll tune in. Also, the second point is the games start after my bedtime.
That's
Because I have a
legit.
4-month-old.
That is
so.
a legit complaint.
Thanks
Yeah.
a lot, China. Just fucking Shanghai.
Fucking China. Yeah.
Like, oh, the ratings are down. Why? Sometimes a naughty boy.
That's what
Yeah.
I think of China.
Let's talk about the Celtics a little bit, though.
As we do on this Patriots podcast.
Hey,
I will
Bill
give you-
Belichick
I will
was
give you
wearing a
60
Celtics
seconds.
hat, Andy. Boston
Don't
strong.
Go, 60 seconds. You're on the clock.
Belichick loves the Celtics. He's been wearing the Celtics hat at his news conferences all week.
That's
Is what you
right.
want to talk about in your 60 seconds? Okay.
Okay. All right. So this is kind of relatable to the Patriots, though. I want to get your guys' opinion on this. There's a lot of hubbubaloo about the Boston crowd chanting "fuck you, Draymond."
Yeah.
Like "fuck you, Draymond." What do you think about that? Is there a baby or is that yours, Andy?
You know, that is, I believe. This is interesting. Hang on. Let me do this.
Well, we don't want the kids hearing what I just said. That's a big no-no.
No. That my phone had connected to Bluetooth apparently, and my wife has my phone because she's using it as the baby monitor. So,
Oh, okay.
so that was Karen making an appearance.
Wow.
Hmm.
I hope you didn't hear me cuss on the podcast.
I don't
That
think
would
so.
be terrible, Greg.
Anyway, you were talking about the chanting.
Yeah. Steve Kerr said it was classless. Thompson said it was classless. Draymond didn't really say anything. His wife went on Instagram and was like, how dare they swear with young children in the thing? And then the worst part is Draymond was in the post-game interview with his son sitting right next to him. This kid's like 3 years old. And they're like, how'd you play tonight? He's like, I played like shit. So he's swearing in front of his own child. And the wife's got no problem with that. But a crowd saying it at a 9 p.m. basketball game, like, come
Maybe the wife does have a problem with that. He heard about it when he got home.
I'm in for it until it gets racist because, like the soccer,
Yes.
they have swung
Mhm.
too far on that pendulum.
Yeah, with the monkey chants and throwing
Mhm.
bananas and stuff. Yeah, it's
on,
not.
throwing stuff.
Yeah. Can't be doing
Yeah.
that.
You can chant "fuck you." I mean, you're going to a
You can chant whatever you want, really.
sporting event for an NBA Finals. Like,
Yeah.
you're gonna hear some.
That's the
rude
best
language.
part of an English soccer game is the
Right.
quality of the chants that they come up with.
Exactly. Yeah, I agree.
So that I think the only problem I have with it is that it's not it's not interesting enough. Like fuck you, Draymond. Like I feel like the Boston crowd can do better than that.
Yeah.
Well, that's American sports in general. They don't really.
Yeah. I agree.
And football is the weakest too of the chanting.
Yeah.
Unless Greg
Play
Brown's
chanting
there.
in this game.
American
And
soccer
versus-
fans are the worst.
Yes. Yeah.
American soccer fans are just fucking.
It's corny as
They
shit.
Go
make
on.
my skin crawl.
Go
with
on,
how
Greg.
fucking corny they are.
I kind of want you to relive this.
Give me an example chant, Greg.
Well, they do that. They stole that skull one, right? They do that one.
Uh,
I believe we will win. That one's like at least like I don't know. It's nice to listen to, but it's corny.
Super
Yeah.
fucking corny.
it sounds very try hard.
And I think I figured it out why too. Cause like you watch the crowd when they show it in like an English Premier League, and those guys are like the blue collar, like, shit-faced guys that are just funny as it is, like as people. And then you watch a US thing and it's like a lot of those guys are fans because it's hipster and it's like,
Yeah.
I want to be different. So I'm a soccer fan
Right.
rather than just like liking it because you like soccer,
Mhm.
So those guys are like the kids that got bullied in high school. They've never been funny to begin with. And they think this is like emboldened them to be in there. Like,
Yeah.
I want to fit in with how they sing in Europe,
Right.
and it's
But
just
they don't have the creativity to come up with
Exactly.
anything.
They're
Like
not
funny.
naturally funny people. So
Yeah.
it just comes out terribly.
Is there anything worse than somebody who's not funny that tries to be? Because I used to work with people like that, and they are awful to listen to.
Yes, Draymond Green
Draymond Green is a bitch.
and this 49ers team too.
Yes, yeah.
They're
All right,
worse.
so we're done
They
with the
are worse
Celtics?
than someone.
I'm done with the Celtics.
I still got more in the Celtics.
I know you do. We can stay on and talk.
Maybe you should start a podcast.
Yeah, Steve, let's start our own podcast.
Yeah, good. I can be the Greg Brown of that podcast where I don't watch any of the games. I just come up with bullshit to derail it. It'd be perfect.
Yeah, actually.
No, you're Andy. I'm the English soccer fan. You're the American soccer fan, and that.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah,
I don't think so.
You want to be like me and bullshit, but no, it's just you don't have the skill set.
We'll see. Start your podcast, Greg. Speaking of not having a skill set, maybe you should start a podcast and then come back to me.
Andy, I know what I am, all right? And it's not organizational guy.
Part of knowing you are staying in your lane.
Yeah, I guess so. Speaking of staying in your lane, let's talk about this 49ers team. They did not do very well. They, like we said, 2-14. Their only wins, both of them, came against the Cardinals. Both of them came in overtime. That's how close they were to being 0-16.
What was the Cardinals' record?
They're mediocre.
Okay.
I don't think they quite made the playoffs, but you can look that up. Stat check.
Well, definitely not losing to the worst team in the league twice in overtime.
No, they were not. I think the Jets are one of the worst teams. No, it was the Dolphins rather, right? Because the night courage wore orange, because that rhymes. This was 49ers team coached by Dennis Erickson, which I don't recognize, except I feel like I had a phone that was made by Ericsson back in the day of flip phones.
Yep.
That's the only Ericsson I remember.
They made an iPod competitor too, if I remember correctly.
Maybe, yeah.
With Walkman.
That sounds familiar.
Yep.
Yeah, but yeah, Ericsson. Spelled slightly differently, I think. But he was almost a 500 coach for the Seahawks for 4 years, and then came and coached this dumpster fire to 2-14, and then got fired. The fun fact about him is that out of his 13 challenges in his NFL career, he only managed to win 4 of them. So good for him. Hadn't figured out the challenges.
Well,
granted, it was early, but
yeah.
No one knows what the challenges are anymore. Even then.
Well, everybody still gets them now, though.
It's like flipping a coin, and it comes up heads 4 out of 13 times. You know.
I don't know. That's still a pretty bad.
It's unlucky.
The other coach of note, I think that we will see a lot more of in some fun times, is Dan Quinn, who's a defensive line coach here. He will have quite the history against the Patriots. Of course, he loses here. No surprise, no spoilers. But 2014, he is also the defensive coordinator for the Seahawks, who Brady torched in the fourth quarter of that Super Bowl. And then 2016, he hadn't had his fill, and he is now the head coach of the Falcons, who Brady torched in the second half of a Super Bowl. I don't know if he's still coaching.
That was my question. Is he still in the league, or did that break him?
I feel like at that point, no, apparently he is the Dallas defensive coordinator. I think he got fired midway through 2020. Something like that. Yeah. It doesn't say, but I feel like that's what happened. So not a great record since then, but I mean, he was an okay head coach as the Falcons, but I mean, I don't think you come back from that defeat.
No.
And just to tell you a little bit about the this 49ers team, they had one Pro Bowler. It was their long snapper Brian Jennings.
Well, doesn't everyone have to get one?
I don't think so.
I think
we've had Browns teams that didn't. But they would you say, Greg?
I think they changed that.
I thought that was baseball that had to have at least one player per team. Wasn't it?
I'll stat check.
All right. But their draft, when we look at this, I just look at Wikipedia, and it shows like their table of all their draft picks. And if they're in blue, that means they made the roster. And if they're in yellow, that means they made at least one Pro Bowl. And just about every single one of their picks made the roster, which I don't think is a good sign for such a bad team, because that just means they were so bad that they had to start all their rookies. But only one of them ever made a Pro Bowl, and that is Andy Lee, who was their punter.
Yep.
Who I believe, I don't know if he's retired or not this season, but he, as of last I checked, he is the sole active player left from this 2004 draft. He is still playing, and he's the only one. Let's see. But this game was on NFL on Fox, which we don't see very often. And we had Kurt Menefee and Tim Green as the commentators.
Tom Green?
That's what I thought. But no, Tim Green, who's much
Eddie, would
less
you like
exciting.
some sausage? Eddie, would you like some sausage?
The fact I
Right
cook
around
sausage
there.
often for breakfast, and I sing that to myself every time.
Dude, he's the man.
He's weird as fuck.
Yeah.
No, he's not. Have you seen him recently, like in interviews?
Recently, no. I don't
He's
keep track of
very
time.
self-aware. He knew what he was doing the whole time.
Oh, I'm sure he did.
Yeah.
The
It's not
Andy
actually
Warhol
weird.
style.
He's just like playing a character.
Okay.
Hey, if it makes
I mean, you still got
I-
to have some weird shit going on upstairs if that's the character you decide to play.
I don't know. Some people might call you weird, Andy.
They do.
Yeah.
But I accept it. I don't try to tell people I'm normal.
He
But the
doesn't
thing
either,
is,
but you're
Andy's
normal.
not playing. Andy's actually weird.
Yeah.
He's not weird.
You're coming from the two of you.
Okay, Greg.
He's autistic, maybe.
ADHD, thank you very much.
Ouch. I feel bad for you, Andy. And I feel bad for Curtis Conway on this team.
Curtis Conway. That's the only name I really recognize.
But this is his last year of his career. Imagine
Yeah.
this is your swan song, the 2-14 49ers.
Yeah, not great. Well, you don't recognize Kevin Barlow, the running back, or Tim
No.
Rattay, or Ken Dorsey, or John
Ken-
Engelberger?
I mean, obviously Ken Dorsey is a fucking legend.
Brandon Lloyd was on this team.
Who?
Brandon Lloyd. Really?
Brandon Lloyd.
Oh, he was.
Did
Huh.
he even play in this game?
If he did, he didn't have a catch. I remember seeing. He may have been hurt. I don't know.
There's just so many a lot of these old games where you're like, man, it's a lot of no names. But you see the sprinkling.
Hmm.
There's just nobody on here.
Yeah, there's always like a name. You're like,
defense.
oh, that guy. That's right. Yeah, I remember him. He was good.
Their defense
team doesn't have that.
No, it's a full defense and no names.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No,
a single
there's
one.
nobody. Yeah, their defensive leaders were their strong safety Tony Parrish. No idea. Defensive end John Engelberger, who I feel like I would have remembered, were he
Name.
like even anywhere good just because of the name. That's an
Oh.
amazing name. And Derek Smith, their linebacker, led the team in
That's such a
tackles.
no-name name.
Yeah, Derek Smith is like a Madden created player name.
Salim Rashid.
Arnaz Battle was on this team though.
Allah
That
Akbar.
I remember from. But
Let's talk
he
about
did-
Dorsey.
Hmm?
Let's talk about Dorsey.
All right, talk about Dorsey for me then.
He's a legend.
Is he?
Yeah, he's an all-time underrated guy.
In what way?
Like all he does is win, but he never gets the accolades.
You do realizing
He was
he's
the Miami quarterback, right?
Yeah, he was a
Yes.
two-time
On
Heisman
that- On
finalist.
that team with Ray Lewis and everybody
Yeah.
that they made the 30 for 30 about.
Yeah.
oh wait.
I remember being like, oh, Ken Dorsey's going to be good. And then he got the NFL and he didn't do shit.
Well, he was a seventh-round draft pick after being a two-time Heisman finalist.
Why?
There was a reason though, obviously, because he didn't win. He wasn't particularly good in this game.
Yeah, but we just talked about how bad the team was. We talk about that all the time about the circumstances of a quarterback. I don't think he got
That's
a
true.
fair shake.
Yeah.
You
You know,
throw him
it's
on a
nice-
team like this, it's like he played for the Browns too after this.
Oh,
So it's not really like he ever stood a chance.
It's true, but you could also say that this team, the year after they had the first overall pick, took Alex Smith, who similar skill set, would you say,
Well, yeah, they
to a
played
Ken Dorsey?
I guess.
And he turned the team around, Alex Smith.
Did he though?
Did he though?
Comparatively, yeah.
Maybe Andy's just not giving any credit to Kaepernick.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Kaepernick came after this.
That's
Hmm.
also he doesn't watch basketball.
Yeah, fuck basketball.
Makes you wonder, Steve, doesn't it?
I'm just pointing out the facts here.
But Ken Dorsey who couldn't beat out Tim Rattay. I feel like that's probably not a.
Why are you a Ken
plus.
Dorsey hater?
I'm just a realist, Greg.
Do you know what Ken Dorsey's doing right now?
What's he doing right at selling cars?
No, he's the offensive coordinator for the Buffalo Bills.
Is he really?
Yeah.
Really?
Nah.
Yeah, he was like the quarterback's coach, and Brian Daboll left.
He
All right.
did
He
He's
got
So he's-
promoted
he's
to
moved up?
offensive coordinator.
No way.
So
Yeah.
we will actually see how good he is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So suck on that, Andy. You know the number one offense in the NFL?
Yeah, the one that he wasn't the offensive coordinator of.
Well, he's quarterback's coach of the best quarterback in the NFL.
No.
Mm,
Josh
Let's-
Allen's a bum.
Unless
Yeah,
yes.
right. We'll see.
We will
Gotta win
find
that
out.
Super Bowl.
I can't believe I thought he was just gone from the NFL.
Yeah, I
Even
figured
his
he'd be
coaching.
like trying to sell crypto to people these days.
Hey, Niners fans, you remember me? It's Ken Dorsey. And my
No,
buddy Joe Namath.
He'd definitely be selling in Florida, not San
Yeah.
Francisco.
Right.
Hey, Miami,
Yeah.
go the U.
Yeah. You?
Yep. Speaking of the U, Vince Wilfork in this game. Was he you? Was he? Yeah, he was at the U. Right?
Yeah.
Like he was on
Rookie
that
Vince
team.
Wilfork starting to show his why he is Vince Wilfork in this game. One of the few highlights is when he puts the center on skates, basically picks him up and throws him at the running back, causing the running back to fumble, which was recovered by, I believe, Earthwind Moreland of all people. So if you're the type of person who's looking for an Earthwind Moreland highlight, that will be your one.
You
I don't
came
know
to
if
the
there'll be
right
another.
place.
Yeah, I don't know if there'll be another. So get it while you can. What else? So some negative things that happened in this game for the Patriots. Their streak of 20 games scoring first, remember? We talked about that, like the fact that they had done this so long actually ended in this game of all games. Because the 49ers actually scored a touchdown first because the Patriots drove down the field twice to open the game. Then Corey Dillon fumbled the first time, and then Brady got picked off on the second drive, which set up the 49ers opening TD. The 49ers would not score again. I'm not even sure they crossed midfield again. Watchability score of probably 1 in this game.
This might be the worst game that
Andy,
we've.
they miss a field goal in the second quarter.
They did.
10-0.
Yep, they
39-yard chippy.
Yeah, it didn't go.
That's when it turned because then the Patriots scored again. Right.
That was it. Yep. that was the end of it. And then they had their chance.
Fucking
and
Todd
then-
Peterson. Like,
Yeah,
who the
and
hell is
then
that? Like they don't even have a
Punt,
no-name
punt, fumble,
kicker.
downs, fumble, end of game. And this was also like a 49ers team that like they got the ball. They actually picked off Brady a couple times. Or no, they picked him off and then had a strip sack like under 2 minutes. And they had all 3 timeouts and they're at like their own 30 or something like that. And they tried one deep shot and then it didn't work. So they just like ran out the clock. It was ridiculous. And they interviewed the head coach. He's like, well, we tried, but we got sacked. So we didn't want to give the ball back to him. So we just ran out the clock. Like, well,
That's smart.
that's when the game ended.
7-7 at half.
Yeah.
You'll
Yep.
take that as a 2-13 team.
I guess. But that was
missed a
kind of,
field goal. Yes,
but it was like showing that you didn't trust your team though, right?
Why would you trust them? They're 2-13.
Well,
Probably
I mean,
would fumble the ball and give it away.
but at halftime, because this was an NFL on Fox, you get the NFC commentators. So one of the quotes was, "The thing that has undone New England all season are their turnovers." He says about a team coming in 13-2 on the season. So yeah, undone all the time. But they showed some stat that said the Patriots over the past 2 years are 30-4, and all 4 of those losses they had at least 4 turnovers. And at the half, they had 3. So, I mean, it's understandable why they're kind of trying to bring that up. But, like, yeah, you're not going to win a game with 4 turnovers, generally.
Yeah, Brady
So-
always has those meltdown games.
Well, he had one a couple weeks ago against the Dolphins in the when Courage wore orange, Steve.
Yes.
Threw 4 picks.
Stupid fucking thing.
Yeah, but he doesn't have meltdown games anymore. Like this back in these days, he used to have like one every once in a while, like at least one a season. Right? Like in 2001, remember he threw like 4 picks in the fourth quarter against the Broncos
Yep.
after starting his career never having thrown an interception in like a few games. Then he got them all out in once. I'm surprised they didn't make more of this being a Tom Brady revenge game though, because
True.
this was the news where like, Brady was from San Mateo and like grew up loving the 49ers and Joe Montana, and then like being salty that the 49ers didn't draft him.
I'm going to guess that whoever was a GM in 2000 is no longer the GM on a 2-13 team.
Oh, can we stat check that? Who was the 49ers GM in 2000? Greg.
I don't know.
I don't know.
It's such a good stat
I
check.
tried to look at the Pro Bowl question. I couldn't find an answer. From being honest.
Killing it. Well, I'm glad we keep you around, Rick. You're very
Terry
useful.
Donahue was a GM in 04.
Who was
glad we got
who
to
was it in 2000 when they could have drafted Tom Brady?
How we got to the bottom of that.
He was 2001 GM.
Oh, so then who was 2000? They got fired for not drafting Tom Brady in 2001. So, speaking of getting fired, though, Gerard Cherry in this game was like playing like a bat out of hell, downing punts at the goal line. But they're talking about how he was actually waived and re-signed this week. So I think somebody
The GM of 2009ers, Bill Walsh.
Aha.
Oh, whoopsie daisies.
Yep.
Whoopsie daisies.
Probably should have drafted the next Joe Montana, but oh well.
Who was it that said that they had like a third round? There's someone famous.
Bill Polian.
Bill Polian, yeah.
He said he had a first round on him or something stupid.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, sure you did. That's why you didn't draft him.
That's the quickest way for me to fucking think you're a phony.
Yeah. Like a
Is
bullshit.
to say shit like that. Like, just admit it.
Blatantly
You're
false.
like, we didn't see it coming. We got that one wrong. That's fine. This is like, you're not going to get everyone right. But to be like, yeah, well, I saw it coming. I just, I didn't do it.
Right.
That is the biggest
That makes
sack
you
of shit
even
lie.
more of an idiot. If you know he's so good, why did
Yeah.
you draft him?
Right, yeah.
That's-
So, oh yeah, no, I knew the Celtics were going to win. I just didn't say that.
Yeah.
I definitely thought it before the game. I just didn't tell anybody.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Sure you did. Got to put that money where your mouth is. Let's see what else. So the difference between these two teams was basically shown in the first quarter. The Patriots driving down their first drive. Corey Dillon fumbles the ball. He catches a screen pass and he gets knocked out as he's going to the ground. 49ers recover. And then they immediately have 3 penalties in a row. They have holding and then a false start. So they're now at 1st and 34, which is not a great way to take advantage of a turnover. But then they would eventually score a touchdown, and the Patriots immediately march straight down the field and tie the game on a Mike Vrabel winning a touchdown catch, which just kind of shows the difference in resiliency between the two teams, I think. And also the fact that,
It's a meaningless week 17 game though. That's what we have to view all of this through the lens of nobody on that field really gives a shit about the final score. They're just playing to either not get hurt or try and get signed by someone next year.
maybe.
Yeah, I watched that highlight, and it was a fourth quarter Corey Dillon touchdown where Rohan Davey hands off to Corey Dillon, and just nobody even wants to touch him, and Corey doesn't want to get hit. He just kind of like falls over a little
It's like the Pro Bowl. Yeah. NFL is not worth playing if you're not playing at 100%.
Right.
It's almost insulting to the game of football,
That's true. I do think this 49ers defense was playing till the end. The offense gave up at the half.
Have you ever guys been on a team where you just like give up?
Yeah.
every team, Greg.
Steve's the reason the teams give up.
I'm in the
Steve's
huddle
like
being like, guys, who gives a fuck? You know?
He's like the first one that like undoes their tie at a wedding, where like everyone just like is like dominoes after that.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I'm the opposite now. I got a new strategy. I
Oh,
keep it on the whole time.
You're the last guy with tie, dude. I got a new one. It's tie the tie around your head. That's that guy.
I figured Steve would be that guy.
That ain't
guy
new.
gets shit gets wild, but that guy has.
That ain't new.
I always pictured Steve as the tie around your head guy.
Oh yeah, we've all been there. I'm the one who splits the pants right up the ass seam. You know.
That is true. You have just once though, right? Or was it
Just
more?
So
that
funny.
one time I remember. Yeah.
I tell everybody that story.
It's pretty good.
Kid's just got a donk. He doesn't know where to put it.
Steve's built for weddings.
Yeah.
I am. Yeah. Thank God I got 3 in 3 weeks in October.
Yikes, dude.
Glad I'm done with that. Yeah, but as you alluded to, Steve, the starters did not play in the fourth quarter,
Rohan,
even though the score was only 14-7
the
Patriots.
future of the Patriots, Rohan Davey.
Rohan
Yes.
Davey. Rohan Davey, a linebacker playing quarterback. Dude is
He's the
huge.
man.
Huge. He can move too. Throw on the run. He almost threw
was
a
ahead of
dart
his
of a
time.
touchdown.
He was ahead of his time. If Rohan Davey comes out now, he's probably a first round pick.
Rohan Davey's like
tools. Oh, he's so toolsy.
he's like a Jacoby Brissett. I think
Yeah,
that's
bigger though.
probably his ceiling is Jacoby Brissett.
I think he was just too big.
He was a big guy, but he could move though, just like Jacoby could.
Yeah.
Can. I think
6'2", 245. That's a big boy.
He's a big boy, yeah. But I mean, everybody was bigger than that in those days. Like, what were the linebackers back then?
He's
Right.
Jamaican.
You had to be big.
Rohan Davey rules, dude.
Yeah.
Did you know he was player of the year in NFL Europe?
Dude,
I did
Josh
actually,
Allen's
yeah.
6'5",
Like, he
237.
tore it up in NFL Europe.
Berlin Thunder.
They're bringing that back. NFL Europe.
Really?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
called
with
Jacksonville
expanded teams.
Jaguars.
Hey-o. Oh, that's about right.
Jags aren't good enough for that.
Yeah.
No, we actually want some real players.
Yeah.
Jacksonville just ends up coming in last in NFL Europe.
Well, I think the rule is you're only allowed to roster, I want to say it's 4 football players from America on each team, a maximum of 4, and only 2 of them or 2 or 3 of them can be on the field at the same time. So
That's cool.
they're definitely trying to get like homegrown talent to play these games. Most of the teams I think are in like the Germany area, with a few here and there. I think a couple like Italian teams, things like that.
The Germans like football.
Apparently, yeah. Well, the NFL's going to Germany this year, isn't there?
They
Buccaneers are playing over there, yeah.
Yep.
They
Where?
have a couple games,
Munich?
I'm assuming.
Allianz Arena?
Yeah. I think the tickets were like surprisingly affordable when they came out.
You gonna go, Andy?
I'm not,
What?
because I have a 4-month-old.
Oh,
Yeah.
Leaving the house is tough.
Just
Dude,
eat
like,
some
going
food
to
and
the
water.
grocery store by myself is like an adventure.
By that point, you can be able to leave some food and water out for him. He'll be fine.
That's
Yeah,
true,
dude.
yeah. Be able to
just
feed
get
himself.
it. Give him a couple of shots of Jack.
Yeah, it'd be fine.
Put him up for a few hours.
Yep.
That's all I need to go to Germany to watch a football game. A couple hours. It'll be fine. I'll red eye it there and back again. Go for the weekend.
Can you name the Davy 5? The 5 quarterbacks drafted ahead of Rohan Davey.
Absolutely not.
I'll list
And
them for you.
Dorsey.
No, this is 2002. David Carr, Joey Harrington, Patrick Ramsey, Josh McCown, and David Garrard.
So you could argue that he was on par with all of those. And the Patriots got him for cheap.
All those names are better,
Yeah.
Mm.
I'm on Team Greg here.
except maybe Patrick Ramsey.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think
David
it's a
Garrard had a
situational
good-
thing, Greg. I think it's a situation. You don't know because he had to sit behind Tom Brady the whole time. Maybe he
For
was
sure.
as good as them talent-wise.
Maybe.
He just didn't get his chance.
I agree with that. Yeah. But as far as like accomplishments, he
Oh, you know, Joey Harrington really he put up those accomplishments.
I think Joey Harrington, more people know the name Joey Harrington than know the name Rohan Davey.
Not if you listen to this podcast.
Also, starting NFL games as opposed to being a backup is for sure more accomplished, even if you lose those games.
Situation.
It is telling that he never plays for another team.
Yeah. If you can win a starting
Or
job,
maybe the Patriots just really valued him so much that they wouldn't let him go.
He only played for the Patriots for 2 years.
dude, spin zone Brown over there.
They
dude.
literally let him go
Ridiculous.
after the season, Andy. This is the last game he shows up in.
That's fine.
You know how he ended up losing his job? Doug Flutie.
Doug.
Really?
Mhm.
Okay.
According to wikipedia.com. Upon
Yeah,
returning to the
Rohan's-
Patriots, he lost his backup job to Doug Flutie and lost the 3rd string slot to Matt Castle.
Oh, interesting. Foreshadowing.
Mm.
Rohan's middle name is St. Patrick.
That's pretty dope.
Yeah, I think he gets lit on St.
Rohan St. Patrick's Davy? Dude, this guy rules. This guy from Jamaica? Uh-oh. Why is St. Patrick a thing in Jamaica?
I mean,
I
I
have a
think
lot,
it's
yeah.
religion is the same everywhere, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's probably
And you know, the Jamaican and the Irish, I feel like they have a similar vibe, no?
Jamaicans and Irish.
Yeah.
What?
I view them as complete opposites.
I got similar vibes. Lay
I
back,
don't know.
and
Irish
have a good
people are like
time.
miserable, drunken pricks that live in a terrible climate and are super pasty. Jamaicans are like, yeah, man.
Well, I was gonna bring
chill.
race into this. I was just talking about I think their vibe is so that the Irish love to have a good time. The Jamaicans
true.
love to have a good time.
That's true.
The times that they have, the good times that they have are slightly different.
Yeah, I guess I just see Irish people a little more cynically.
The vibes are similar. That's all I'm saying.
It seems like he's a consultant now.
Oh yeah, he's not the offensive coordinator of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers or something.
I was hoping for something like that. I got as consultant at Money Management International, which is so vague.
Dude, he played arena football. Everybody played arena football.
There was a player in this game, I think, who the guy that picked off Tom Brady played. They were talking about how he played in the AFL 2, the second division arena football.
Really?
Yeah, where you only got paid. You got paid $50 if your team won the game.
Oh,
interesting.
And that was a few years ago, and now he's starting quarterback on the starting quarterback in the NFL for the 49ers and picking off Tom Brady. So, I mean, that's something you bring your kids, all right?
Mm-hmm.
You can tell your grandkids one day, I picked off Tom Brady. Don't worry about it. But speaking of money management, Steve, Corey Dillon this game achieved one of his incentives, which was going over 1,600 yards, and he matched it. So he got an extra $375K for his 100-yard rushing game this game, which is the first time a running back went over 1,600 in like a very long time for the Patriots.
And since, right?
Yeah, I don't think anybody has since.
Definitely not.
No.
I got a question, or not a rhetorical, but who's the all-time Patriots backup quarterback?
Tom Brady.
Oh, nice, Andy. That's a good one.
I mean, in the sense that they never played. They never came to fruition. So no Castle, no Brady, no Cam.
Hoyer count? Or what about Brissett?
Hoyer counts. Yeah. Brissett counts.
But Brissett started in
why doesn't Castle?
Yeah, but I mean a season. They didn't play a season.
They played 2 seasons.
Michael Bishop.
That's who I was thinking too.
What?
Yeah. Michael Bishop, all-time backup.
Everybody was so hyped on Bishop.
Huge.
And then you could throw Garoppolo in that too.
Yes, that's the answer.
Garoppolo made it to a Super Bowl. I don't think you can throw him in that same thing.
Yeah, but
if you can't put Matt Castle in there, then you can't put.
I'm viewing it through this lens of the guy that was the backup that everybody used to be like, you watch him in preseason and go, he looked pretty good with the second unit. Maybe there's something there. Like we used to say that with Bishop all the time. We used to say that with Davey. We used to say that with Garoppolo. Hoyer, everyone kind of knew sucked.
Stidham.
Who was the
Stid? Yeah.
What was the one, Greg, when we went to the preseason practice, and it was like right after Brady was good. It was around this time. He's a head coach now.
Oh yeah, the guy from Texas Tech.
Yeah. What's his name?
It wasn't O'Connell. He was after. It's the fancy looking guy.
Yeah.
Mr. LA.
Oh,
yeah.
Patrick
Arizona.
Mahomes.
Say it again, Steve.
Patrick Mahomes.
No.
Oh, I knew we shouldn't have fucking made him repeat it because it's so dumb. Arizona head coach. Someone up there is like Cliff Kingsbury.
That's him. Yes,
Cliff. That's a good one too.
Yep.
And then
you were high on him. You're like, he's the next Tom Brady.
It's got to be Garoppolo though. He had by far the most hype around him.
Yeah. I think you were just too young to remember.
He started in that Dolphins game and he played 3 quarters and was lit and then immediately got hurt. And we were talk about a flash in the pan.
I was at that game. We were all so hyped up.
I mean, Brissett was the same though. I mean, he had that game where he ran for the touchdown.
No.
And you've been
Jimmy
hearing
Grapes
for
was
years
different.
about his release and how quick it was.
And he was a 2nd round pick. So people were like, well,
true.
Belichick must have seen something in him.
I think he did. I mean, he's good when he's not hurt.
Yeah, he's really good.
He's just always hurt. The best ability is availability, right, Greg?
That's right.
All right.
Bishop was awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, he was backing up Drew Bledsoe, and they would bring him on basically only to throw Hail Marys, and he completed one once. Everybody's like, why isn't he playing more? But what I believe he had struggled to learn the playbook or something like that because he was from Kansas, I think.
His 7th round draft pick.
Yeah, and so he just I remember there'd be they'd bring him in goal line situations too to run the option, and he would still they'd have to do there would be false starts and delay of games and things like that. So it just didn't quite work out. Well, also on that topic, speaking of guys who flashed but never didn't quite work out, Bethel Johnson had a pretty decent game. But he had a very Bethel Johnson game. Let me say
I
that.
like Bethel pick with that as well, Craig.
I think Bethel Johnson is a lot better than I had in my head.
Yeah,
Well,
I agree. But
people
he always just
bring
can't stay on the
Taekwondo.
field is the problem. Like half the games, it's like he was not dressed to play because he didn't participate well in practice this week or something like that.
That was Steve.
Yeah.
What, not participating in practice? That sounds
Yeah.
right.
Well,
But he actually,
that was a slight on Taekwon Thornton when they drafted him this year. They said, "Oh, it was the next Bethel Johnson," and he's actually like Bethel's good.
Yeah.
He's really good in these games.
he was actually returning punts in this game. First punt he did, he took it to the house, but it got called back for like an iffy block in the back that didn't actually need to be blocked, which is stupid.
It was the worst.
But yeah, but he also like had a deep bomb from Rohan that he just like let go right through his hands right at the end of the game. So kind of a typical.
So you thought the refereeing was bad, Andy?
Yeah.
Refereeing was fine.
What about the commentators?
No, these referees were definitely like, let's get the fuck out of here. We're not calling anything.
Let's clip that one, Steve. Yeah, he just said the refereeing was fine.
Yeah. It's all good.
I don't believe my ears.
All right. How do you think the refereeing's been in the NBA playoffs?
One game was bad. The other one's been good.
Yeah, it hasn't been bad in the finals, actually.
How
A
is
lot
it
better
good?
than the Heat and the Bucks series was atrocious.
Yeah. Well,
Hey, you want physical basketball? You should have watched the Bucks series, Andy.
Yeah.
That was football.
I don't want physical basketball. I want
You said there's not
Violence.
enough violence.
Yeah.
There's a lot of violence.
that's not violence.
You like concussions?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, not for the players' sake, no. But for entertainment's sake, there's nothing better. Watching a big hit. What was that segment that they used to have? You got lit up, whatever the hell it was. Yeah. They had fucking VHS videos of like
Oh yeah.
NFL's greatest hits. And it was just like people getting their heads taken off.
Yeah.
I
There's
can't
Lawrence
watch.
Taylor blindsiding quarterbacks for like 45 minutes on VHS.
It's different when they have a helmet on, like compared to like MMA. I can't watch MMA.
Oh, yeah, no, I can't.
When they like knock someone out and then just smoke them in the face like twice when they're on the ground.
Before the referee can get there to break it up.
It's brutal, dude.
You gotta have a different kind of mind to be able to be like, I knocked this guy out, but I'm gonna hit him until somebody tears me off him, just in case.
Yeah.
Fucking yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah,
Great.
it is. Jesus. All right. Want to do best and worst? Actually, no, Greg, didn't you want to talk about the playoff picture before we do that?
Oh boy.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
We're doing it live. Let's do it live.
Fuck it.
I would love
and we'll
to see
do
a
it live.
podcast you ran.
All right.
Sorry to start
So
this podcast. I will be a
let's
guest.
see here. 2004 standings.
So
All
I'll
right.
give you
So
the
division
AFC.
winners. Let's talk division winners, right? Obviously the Pats win the East.
Yep.
Pittsburgh Steelers are the number 1 seed in the AFC with a 15-1 record.
Yeah.
With
Who was that
the
lost?
T. Da.
It was the Ravens, I think.
It was week 1, whatever it was.
Yeah, because it was at week 1 or 2.
1, because Ben Roethlisberger comes in week 2. The Roethlisberger.
Yeah, but I think that could have been the loss, but it wasn't a game he started, so it didn't go on.
Guys, this is my segment.
Well, answer the fucking questions then.
Yeah.
This is a stupid question.
Fact check it.
All right. Back to business. AFC South, the Indianapolis Colts 12-4, the West Chargers 12-4. So the usual suspects in the AFC: Pats, Steelers, Colts, Chargers,
Also,
Broncos, and the Jets sneak in as the
the Jets
wild
do
cards.
sneak in. Okay.
Yes.
And the Bills, they were saying in this game, the commentators were the Bills were the team that got hot late and nobody wanted to play them if they made the playoffs. So probably good for AFC that the Bills did not make the playoffs.
They finished the game out.
But these Colts, they also talked about them, and they put up a little stat thing about them. Peyton Manning set the NFL record for 49 touchdown passes, most touchdown passes ever, breaking Dan Marino's record. It's their second straight AFC South title. They also had 3 wide receivers on this team with 1,000 yards and 10 touchdowns, which had never been done in the NFL before. So this is a fucking offensive wagon. Marvin Harrison, Reggie Wayne, and can you name the third guy?
Dallas Clark.
No.
Pierre Garçon.
Brandon Stokely.
Stokely.
And Dwight Freeney leads the NFL with 16 sacks.
And the number 2 offense in the league, the Kansas City Chiefs, went 7-9.
Right. Missed the playoffs. Oops.
Oopsie daisies.
So what does the NFC look like?
NFC East. The NFC sucked.
Yeah.
NFC East, the Eagles won it at 13-3, the only team to finish above 500. Giants, Cowboys, and Redskins all had 6 wins. God. NFC North, our good buddy Favre, 10-6, wins the division. Vikings are in at 8-8 as a wild card. Oof. Falcons win the South 11-5, and the Seahawks win the West 9-7. And the Rams get in with an 8-8 record. So 2 500 teams as your wild cards. Dog shit conference.
So yeah. 2 500s and 9-7. 2 9-7s?
1 9-7. There's only one team that had less than 6 losses.
Good Lord. And that's the team that won the Super Bowl. So basically the Eagles had a cakewalk to the Super Bowl, which is the only reason they got there, because this is their 4th attempt.
Yes,
I think getting to the NFC Championship game, they finally
Andy
break through. Yeah,
Andy and Donovan.
But it sounds like they had a cakewalk to do it.
So we got Colts, Broncos, Chargers, Jets, Pats, and the Steelers get a bye.
Yeah. All right. So who are the Colts playing?
The Colts are playing the Broncos.
Colts, Broncos. Oh, I think I remember that game. That was a game where nobody punted.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. An absolute barn burner.
I thought that was last year.
I think the Colts did that last year too. I think they did it back-to-back years.
Oh.
Until they meet the Patriots. And yeah, we all know how that goes. Yeah. I'm excited about this playoff run. I did like that they showed the place where they hang the banners in New England. Like they had them on the walkway. And there was only 2. And it just looked so empty with just the 2 banners. Like, oh, that's quaint. I remember those days. Yeah. All right. So that's your playoff thing, huh? You know?
Yep. MVP, Peyton Manning.
Of course.
Who's the defensive player of the year?
Walter Payton, Man of the Year, work done.
Okay. Work done. He's done like a shit ton of work. He like builds people houses, I think, now. Like he's a super big humanitarian.
Didn't he? He built a house for somebody famous. I think it might have been like Lamar Jackson or something.
Really?
Yeah, I think I saw a segment on that. Look that shit up, Andy. Defensive Player of the Year, Ed Reed. Big Ben, Rookie of the Year for offense, and Jonathan Vilma, AP Defensive Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, he had a pick 6 against the Rams in this final week to send the Jets to the playoffs. Yeah.
Interesting comeback player of the year, Drew Brees.
Oh, that's right. With the Saints, right? This is his first year on the Saints.
I think he's still on the Chargers, isn't he? Let's take a look-see poo here.
No.
Yeah, Drew Brees still on the Chargers. Because that's why they shipped him out, is because he had, what was it, like elbow issues or something like that?
The elbow knee, yeah, something like that.
I could be wrong. It's crazy to think about Drew Brees' Chargers days like that.
Yeah, I thought he was okay and then got hurt and then got shipped out. I didn't know he went to the playoffs. He must get shipped out after this year.
Must have, yeah.
Greg, so you were close, but it's not as happy a story anymore. Oh
no!
By providing families with a positive home environment, WC believes blah, blah. In 2006, one of these homes that Dunn built through his charity happened to go to the family of future NFL player Deshaun Watson.
Oh no! How many women were molested in that house?
He's like, "Can you meet me at my childhood home? It's only like 30 minutes away."
Oops. So.
Dude. Let's talk about that.
Full circle.
Let's talk about that.
Do you think Deshaun Watson plays this year?
No.
Probably not.
Probably not. Well, they suspended, who was it, Ridley for gambling on football for a year.
Yeah, which is crazy.
Yeah.
And so it's got to be more than that, right?
It's so inconsistent.
You can't relate. Yeah. 66.
That's just so much.
In 17 months.
Yeah.
Just think about the logistics of that.
Right. It's a new masseuse every week.
Dude, I can't even text this group chat once a week.
We know.
And this guy's out here
getting you to show up on a fucking podcast is a goddamn full-time job.
Buttering him up and then presenting his penis, that's a lot of effort, dude.
He's getting like multiple massages from him too. Like
He's fucking criminally horny.
Yeah. And the fact that the Houston Texans kind of like provided him hotel rooms and NDAs and shit.
NDAs, they gave him an NDA.
Fuck. Yeah.
Just fucking
but
Google it.
how do you feel about Robert Kraft's thing as well, though? It's different. But
it's different.
But it's also simple.
See, to me,
you're both getting handies from masseuses.
Yeah, but to me, the issue is the volume, dude. Like if someone just went to some fucking massage parlor that they knew,
right?
Like,
and they knew that that's what happened.
I would
there.
never do that, but whatever. This guy's got a thing. But this guy is 66 different women.
Yeah,
like that is like.
That's
how does he even have the time to do that? He's got to be so like kind of like screw loose, deranged, criminally horny to even go through with that.
Something
that just strikes me as something that I would never even conceive of doing. Not even like, I could see myself doing it. Like never in a million years.
No. That's just
and to think he could get away with it.
Right.
Do you think 66 women were just not going to say anything about him just pulling his dick out at a massage? That's crazy.
Right.
He got away with it 66 times.
Like, did he though? He almost did get away with it.
Get away, avoided criminal charges.
Yeah, a record contract.
Yeah, he got $230 million guaranteed.
Fucking ridiculous.
He can get away with it.
It's crazy.
You think he sees in that money?
That's why when people are like Kaepernick, like they're blackballing him. It's like, no, dude. If you're good enough, they'll look past anything in the world. You know what I'm saying?
I suppose. Unless it goes against the Shield. I mean, just look at the Dan Snyder stuff.
I think they don't care.
There's a whole lot of smoke now about him getting released or him having to sell the team because it came out that he was shorting the NFL money and he was like cooking the books on like how much they were making.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't.
And so there's a whole bunch of like owners and stuff coming out and be like, well, maybe we'll have to take a vote, all this shit.
Fuck yeah, dude. I'd love to see him go down.
So of all the shit he's done, the reason he gets let go is because he's hiding money from the NFL.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Well, I saw the Ray Rice video and then you're just like, whatever. And then it came out and like, God damn it, we gotta do something.
Right. Yeah. As long as it doesn't hurt the Shield, they're fine with it. And I think maybe you could argue that
like
Kaepernick is hurting the Shield because
hurting the Shield.
Yeah, Watson's hurting the Shield.
Oh yeah,
he is now.
Oh yeah,
but it was also one of those calculated risks of just a blow over like all the other.
Exactly. If you're good enough,
the Browns calculated wrong.
What a surprise! Can you imagine if they're out 3 first-round picks, $230 million?
They gave away 3 starting quarterback too.
3 first rounds, yeah.
Oh my god, dude!
Yeah,
and Baker Mayfield's still on the roster and won't play.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, Baker's never gonna play there.
No, he will not.
This could be an all-time meltdown from a franchise standpoint.
All time.
Yeah,
they were so close, and then they just.
Oh man, that just made me really happy.
Greg.
It's the most Brown shit ever because they were like starting to turn around. They had like a good squad. They gave the Chiefs a run in the playoffs.
Fantastic.
Man, that's awesome.
Yep. So good. Jesus.
Anyways, Roe v. Wade. What do you think of that,
Andy? Very naughty.
Tell me your thoughts on Uvalde, Texas.
I will not.
Okay.
Get rid of all doors. No doors. No
doors, no ceilings, no windows.
Right.
Outdoor schooling.
Just helicopter them in and then they helicopter them out once they graduate.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Dude, I think we should all just be like the Matrix where they put us in those pods and they just download thoughts and dreams into our brains and then we're completely safe because we're in the pods.
Completely safe. Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you know we're not in the Matrix right now, Greg?
And we're happy. Well, because we're not happy, Andy.
Well, maybe once we get to a certain level of unhappiness, they just reset it and start over, like you're rebooting a computer.
I'm happy. I'm happy as a dog and shit, dude.
You seem happy. The dogs and shit aren't happy.
I know.
Pigs and shit.
Pigs and shit.
I don't think dogs enjoy. Well, actually, some dogs do enjoy rolling in their own shit.
Comment.
If they get something gross smell on the ground, they'll rub themselves all over it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. We have friends that we saw recently. They have 2 dogs, and one of them apparently they used to live in California, so they're on the beach. and they let the dogs off the leash, and one ran away, and they went to go get it, and they saw him rolling around in something that turned out to be the carcass of a dead seal.
Ooh.
Yeah, and they both threw up trying to clean the dog afterwards.
Oh.
It smelled so bad, and the dog was unbelievably happy.
Oh yeah, I'll bet he's camouflaged.
So good.
Some
I love
fucking
it.
seal guts, dude.
Seal guts just
gross.
all over your body, just rolling in it. Unbelievable.
Rancid.
All
It's
right.
like when we were back at the old house when we were by the lake. I was like walking along the shoreline and like walking on rocks.
Yeah.
Because it was kind of the water was kind of down. And I stepped on one. I was like, oh, that's a furry rock. And it was just a dead beaver.
Fucking gross.
Gross, dude. It freaked me out for years. I you just walk like fucking super careful about where I walked after that.
Yeah, she's nasty.
Yeah.
What's the beaver population around here, guys?
Around where? We live in
Just
different
wherever
places.
Greg's walking. He's got to check it. Check the
Yeah.
stats.
Google it, Greg. North Carolina
me.
beaver population.
Oh, he knows. Every time he goes
He
barefoot.
doesn't have to go. He's already.
Are we
Googled
still
it.
talking about the same beavers? Sure. It's like half of them, right?
It's 50-50.
They have a thing in Durham. It's called the Beaver Queen pageant.
Okay.
The Beaver Queen pageant.
No, I heard you. I just
Okay, yeah. I don't really know where it like came from, but it's like they do like a newsletter in the neighborhood. They hand out like flyers. It's like a big thing. Like girls will dress up as like a beaver and do whatever creative thing they can do. And like clockwork, every time something gets given to us about Beaver Queen, I was like, "Oh, Kelly, wasn't that your nickname in high school?" I've probably made that joke like 60 times, and it just keeps getting funnier and funnier.
And you fucking cackle at it every time, don't you?
oh yeah.
It's so fucking hilarious, Beaver Queen.
The best part about a joke is that only you need to find it funny for it to be funny.
Yeah.
Dude, it just fills me with joy just thinking about it. Oh boy, that's my best of the week.
Beaver Queen jokes.
Yeah, Beaver Queen.
The other go-to line is isn't that the name of your sex tape?
Yeah, that's a good one.
That probably works for Beaver Queen. Oh, that could be you. You could be the Beaver Queen.
Yeah.
The name of your sex tape.
That's true.
So you should mix it up next time.
No, stay with the original, Greg.
Okay.
Just keep eating that into the ground. It's
Yeah,
a too dirty
just-
joke, you know?
Repetition.
Yeah.
That's what makes it funnier.
Gotta get your
Beating
reps
a
in.
joke into the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So that's your best. What's your worst, Greg?
Week 17 football, they should just make a rule where if it doesn't affect either team, you can just sit it out.
Yeah.
Wasn't that why they're all
Flip a coin.
Yeah.
they're all divisional games now, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although now there's an 18th week, and so who knows?
Yeah.
Not sure.
I guess they'll never do that, huh? NFL needs their buckaroos.
Oh, obviously.
Yeah.
Even here's a hot take. Preseason football is better than week 17 football.
Yes, there's more excitement.
That's a very
Mhm.
hot take. I disagree completely.
No way.
Yeah, no, that's no. Fourth preseason
We're
game.
talking like this sort of week 17.
Mm-hmm.
It's just meaningless.
It's
Yeah.
less meaningless than
No, because in preseason you're like excited about the rookies. Your first time you're getting to see them. Like, oh, that guy could be good. You know, week 17, you're like, I don't give a shit. Just give me the playoffs. Or you're like, or the 49ers, you're like, I don't care. So I'm gonna go home. I don't even want to watch.
we're on the clock.
Ooh.
Who we drafting?
Yeah.
That's what Chris Berman said in the highlights.
What?
He's like the Patriots versus the 49ers who are already on the clock.
Yeah. Yeah, they were.
They were.
Locked up that number 1 draft pick
Mm.
who they use to pick Alex Smith. And then third round, they drafted Frank Gore. So not a
Oh.
bad draft.
Wow.
A couple of stalwarts. I guess that's what happens when you pick first in each round.
Yes.
So, all right, Steve, you got any best and worst?
I have a best and worst one
Wow.
thing.
Same thing.
Combo. Yep.
Okay.
And his name is Jeff Carr.
Ooh, yeah. I knew we were going to call him out.
Oh yeah.
Why is he your best?
Just because he didn't come on here, and that's nice. So we'd have to talk to him.
Okay. And your
Yeah,
worst
but
is the fact
also
that you know him?
worst-
You care to explain the context of who Jeff Carr
Yeah,
is?
It's the worst. It's the worst because it's the worst decision he ever made. He was our friend growing up in New Hampshire, and it's like, I'm going to support the 49ers because I like Jerry Rice. That's it. That was his whole thought process.
That
And
was
that was like-
odd.
I mean, I was like that too, but then I graduated third grade and realized that you support
But he's
the
like a
home team.
huge Red Sox fan, so it didn't make any sense. Not like,
huge Celtics guy.
Yeah.
Loves the
Loves the
Bruins.
yeah.
Loves everything but the Patriots.
And then why? Yeah, that doesn't make any sense to pick three of them, but not the fourth.
And he did it
that's
like
very-
right before like Tom Brady.
Yeah.
And so he has to sit there. And this is the first time the Niners have come up. And just think about his poor life there.
What does he say his rationale is? Just like
I like
Jerry Rice?
Jerry Rice. That is it. I've asked him so many times.
So did I.
I love Jerry Rice too.
Oh yeah.
I was a
poster
huge
of Jerry Rice in
Montana
my
and
room
Steve
up
Young
until-
fan. Love Joe Montana.
I like
had his
Falcons.
I had his Joe Montana's action figure. Remember those little starting
Yeah,
lineup guys?
Remember that.
Fucking love that one.
I had that Jerry Rice poster in my room for
I
you.
used to play. I play with that so much that the numbers rubbed off. Like it's just like a blank jersey now.
Nope.
Phrasing.
We're borderline here.
Very naughty.
All right. So your best and worst is
Andy
Jeff.
had a habit of playing with things a little too much when he was a kid.
Yeah.
That's right. He used to call me Beaver Queen in high school.
Beaver King.
No, they call me Beaver
Definitely
Queen.
not Beaver King.
It was a very hurtful being called Beaver Queen. in high school.
Definitely not Beaver King.
All right. Best and worst.
Can I revise my worst? My worst is you watching this game, Andy, which is just a psychopath move, dude.
No, you cannot revise that.
All right, go ahead.
And I literally just had it on my computer while I was working. So only half watched it. But I watched enough to take enough notes to carry this podcast since neither of you actually watched a fucking game. Good for you. The best is the Patriots tie the best record after winning a Super Bowl. 14-2. I didn't have enough time to go back and find out who the other team is. So if you know and you let us know who it was and you're correct, well, I don't know, we'll send you a t-shirt. How about that?
49ers.
Dallas Cowboys.
Pittsburgh Steelers. I mean, we can guess all we fucking want, but none of you know if that's correct. So if somebody sends us a correct answer
One of us could
on social media or something, you can find it on the website, passpod.com. You can find it on social media. If you send us the correct answer, we will send you a t-shirt. So that was the best. Also, I don't know if this is best or worst, but they showed a list of the quarterbacks with the highest winning percentage since 1970. Because this time Tom Brady was top with a 770 win percentage. Other four quarterbacks in the top five: Jim McMahon, Danny White of the Cowboys, Dan Marino, and Mark Rippon. Fucking random assortment of quarterbacks to be on the winningest quarterbacks list.
Danny White.
Danny White. Yeah, I mean, he was old school.
Danny White.
Back when the Cowboys were good, I think. Like Roger Staubach era-ish, I believe. But Jim McMahon,
What
he
was
was
Tom Brady's?
Huh?
What was Tom Brady's winning percentage?
770. Jim
Wow.
McMahon was 754.
Dude,
That was
so-
with the 85 Bears era.
It's still correct.
Danny White was 738. Still not bad. Dan Marino, 705. So the fact that he won that many games at such a high clip and never won a Super Bowl is pretty rough. And then Mark Rippon of the Washington, at the time, Redskins, 689. Best winning percentage since 1970, which
Tom
is
Brady's
a little
still
ridiculous.
764.
We got a bye week next
Brady's
week, right?
764.
There is a bye week.
Should we-
His Brady's actually better now. No,
It's a little
764.
bit
Okay, yeah,
worse,
770. He's gone down slightly. Still top of that list though.
What a bum.
The Patriots will have a bye in the first round of the playoffs. And after
You know what
that,
we
we will
should
meet
do?
up. What's
I got
that?
an idea. Bye weeks, we should watch a pre-dynasty game
Okay.
instead.
I've got a couple that I could recommend.
Yeah. Because then we can just pick and choose whichever one. Then we can watch like 6 games.
Okay. I mean, I'm going to, the games.
Do you have some in mind?
Oh, does
do.
Andy have? What about finding the recordings, Andy? How are you gonna find the recording?
Dude, they're out there. I've seen a couple.
Don't worry about
I
it.
know, Greg.
Don't fucking worry about it, Steve. I got
Andy's autism's on it.
games. Don't worry. I'm not gonna share them with you fucking knuckleheads.
Knuckleheads. Yeah.
Too bad, Andy. You have
Chuckle
to share with
fucks.
your family. You have to share with your family. Mom says so.
That's
You're not my
right.
family.
I'll make mom sharing with you.
I disown you both.
You can't do that. I'll make.
I just
mom
did.
share
I
with you.
just did.
Nope.
So, yeah. All right. I mean, if you want to pick a game next week, we can pick a rando. I'm fine with that.
I got one in mind.
You do?
Yeah.
What is it?
The first Patriots game I went to.
Oh, good. Okay.
Hail Mary. It was it was a crazy game.
Oh no. So actually, this just came up recently because on Twitter I did a thing where I had people post their favorite plays, and I replied with the highlight of that play.
The Hail Mary.
And one of them was the Ben Coates touchdown
Mm-hmm.
after the Hail Mary pass interference to beat the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, it's a
So,
great game.
We can find that game. And I told everybody how salty I was that you got to go instead of me, because I believe at the time Dad's the reason he took you instead of me was because he had taken me to a Red Sox game that year. And so you got to
And he
go
loved me
to
more.
a Patriots
And
game.
I didn't get to go to a Patriots game until like 2006.
You went to a Bruins game first, though.
That's true. 97.
I went to a Red Sox game first.
I have a new worst.
Okay.
It's watching Greg pick his nose with a pair of tweezers right now. What the fuck are you doing, bro?
Is that why your hand's covering the screen?
Yeah,
So you don't have to watch it?
Watch that.
Noted.
At least you're not picking your teeth with a knife.
Yeah.
Dude,
Give it time.
the long and curly ones, they get a little tickly up there, you know?
They do. Oh, I fucking hate it. And then you pull it out and it feels like you're pulling out of your fucking brainstem.
I just
Brutal. Like your frontal cortex.
is up there.
Yeah, I think, Steve.
That's what I mean. I pull out ones that are like inches long.
Look at the size of this thing.
Brutal.
Are you sure you didn't pull it off your pubes?
Dude, this thing is massive.
Okay.
It's a little terrifying sometimes. I do
The
this.
best is when
I
you get
can't
like
believe-
6 in one and
No.
it's just like,
Fucking
you're just
worst.
like, oh my God.
Why did I say something?
Very naughty.
Yeah, Gregory definitely is.
Sometimes a naughty boy.
Especially when he's pulling nose hairs and ejaculating because of it. All right. I think we are finished. So next week we will have a random game from the sounds of it. And then after that, we'll meet back here for the Patriots hosting the Colts in the AFC divisional round.
Playoffs.
Playoffs.
Tune in next week to see how much of a blubbering little bitch Greg is. Man, you got
On
the
the
Patriots
Patriots
Dynasty podcast. I'm
Say
gonna
again?
need you to record some new material.
All right. Well,
Yeah,
I
I'm
mean,
in for the soundbite war.
I
All
still
right.
got mine.
I'm slowly building a few. So that's all
Okay.
good. All right.
Save
But
the-
until next week.
The playoffs. I like it.
Yes.
Dude, I got a fart machine
Oh, good. So
soundboard.
This is how we're going out.
So realistic, Greg.
That was my favorite. Number 11 is my favorite.
Oh, good.
Oh, good, Greg.
Oh, want me to make it rain?
This is awful content.
This is so bad. All right. Until next week or next episode,
Dude, when it's Christmas, it's a Christmas song.
boys, enjoy your Celtics.
I've had that for like 3 years.
Good.
It's awesome.
I'm so happy for you. Enjoy your Celtics. I hope
Go
they win.
Celtics. Celtics in 5, baby.
Yeah, let's go.
Celtics in 5. And until next week, we will see you later.
See you later.
See you later.
Bye.